Anastasia Keogh. I'm going to guide you through the day and make sure that everybody's included and that you get a chance to hear and know who everybody is that's speaking and what comes next and what comes after that. I'll be guiding you through the day and keep the conversation flowing and the ideas flowing.
What biases have you faced? How do you raise your voice? How do you do what you do? This is a question that people ask me all the time. And it's years. You know, I'm a product that took many years to come together here. I've always had a voice. I'm a twin, as I mentioned before. My twin is the quiet one. I was always the robust one. And my mum always used to say to me, Lavinia, that mouth of yours, you need to know when to shut it. And I was like, no. And then, in addition to that, she's like, when I got older, she said, that mouth of yours is going to get you in trouble. I said, no, it's going to make me money, but not in that way. And I always love the power of words. Like, English is such a rich language, you know? To be able to communicate and to touch people with your words, with your energy, is a very beautiful and privileged thing. And I'm very privileged to be standing up here and talking to you, to be running Women in Blockchain Talks. And it is a global platform now. And I speak to many women and I touch many women's voices or individuals around the world. But let's talk about biases. I have faced many. First of all, I'm a woman and I'm a woman of colour.
And so that's really, you know, what I do. I think also it's a little bit.
I got into blockchain back in 2017, and
starting to see like the new generation who is growing now. They not only about just earning money for themselves, but they want to give back to community. They want to support someone. It's 100%. Mostly for the good causes, and I think it's an amazing change, not in terms of the just industry, but in terms of humanity. Then you can see it, that the young generation, like how different they are and how great they are. So yeah, Genevieve, what do you think? What like area of blockchain has amplified female voices the most or brought more females to the industry?
So one of the things I actually like to point out is if we look at the blockchain space from, let's say, we'll go 2015, 2016, some of the biggest companies which are still alive.
And how did you keep your voice going when everything else was against you? So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Jenny to the stage. Thank you very much. Let's give her a warm welcome.
My name is Jenny Collett. I'm the account director at April 6. So we're a global technology, science, innovation, PR and marketing agency. We work with some of the biggest names across tech and science, so the likes of CERN, Amazon. But from my perspective, for the last 5 years in particular, I've specialised in blockchain and cryptocurrency. It's been a very interesting journey, kind of trying to convince journalists and publications to take crypto and blockchain seriously. So we wanted to use this talk to kind of give you an overview of the last 5 years in the space from a media perspective, as well as how things have changed during that time. They said that a lot of the reason why people invested was that they saw the founder on the front cover of Forbes. So they thought, oh, it must be credible, Forbes have written about her. Whereas in actuality, that was a paid advertising placement. But you can see kind of how far you can go in terms of media coverage, giving you credibility.
So you're really in luck. Anyway, my waking up troubles aside, like you mentioned, the president for Government Blockchain Association, just to talk a little bit about GBA. It's a global non-profit organization focused on promoting blockchain technology by empowering individuals and organizations to connect, communicate, and collaborate to solve public sector challenges. Are especially inspired with enterprises, governments, and NGOs that make this a more inclusive, fair, and sustainable world.
But because we don't understand it, no one's ever taken the time to explain it, and also it's been explained by people that you feel intimidated by, and who are totally impatient with you when you ask the question, it's like, okay, I'll leave it for now, I'll park that, you know, and ultimately, it's us that's missing out. We want more women to come into space, we want more diversity, and we have to just kind of swallow our pride, be bold, be brave, ask the questions even when we feel stupid, and just take the time to understand.
Yes. Yeah. So so my background is in finance. I headed the structured solution team at JP Morgan. In 2018, I saw a great opportunity in the blockchain space. So I was involved in something called Nutella, for those of you that are from my generation, which was the first decentralized peer-to-peer file sharing system.
So the second bit of the question first, which is what's the difference between an incubator and an accelerator? So an incubator typically focuses on early stage companies. That means that the selection process emphasizes slightly different traits of your project because you haven't necessarily got the traction to prove, you haven't achieved product market fit because that takes time. Whereas with an accelerator, you should generally either have these things in place or be on your way to having product market fit, etc., traction in place, and you want to scale. Like 100 female celebrity behind them, they're still not managing, and you look at their trading volumes and everything. So there's a real challenge in getting women interested in.
They want to go out and then share that knowledge, and I think that's how we're going to grow and spread, like, you know, ideas and that kind of thing amongst women. But then you do have
Probably in here know more about blockchain and crypto and DeFi than those people as coders, you know? But they're wanting to move into this space. But how can they move into the space when most people just don't have a Scooby, right? So this is why I always say you've got to be bold and brave. We can't make excuses for stuff, and I do hear what you're saying, you know, and I just want to say, oh, Susan, she's not there now. But I was going to ask Susan, because she's a VC, is Outlayers investing in more women? This is a question I would like to ask, you know, but she's...
I parked that. So I started off doing what was called recovery and resolution planning. Might not know what that is. I'm going to be very honest. When I applied for the job, I actually also have no idea what it is, but I'm going to go away and I'm going to speak to people in Barclays and see what we're doing in this space. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't convinced that we were going to be doing anything if Chris hadn't heard about it. I was wrong. Then I went to this meeting, I did ask a few questions, and it was being led by a lady called Sian Jones, who ran something called EDCAP, which I remember the acronym for this, the European Digital and Cryptocurrency Committee, which was currency and blockchain